to get my back blown out in peace. You think I got time to talk about a divorce that's a year old?
Love can look perfect on the outside. The matching outfits, the romantic posts, the laughter that seems so genuine. But sometimes what looks like forever in public is quietly falling apart behind closed doors. That's the story of Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert, a love that seemed unbreakable until the truth started to pour out. For years, people looked up to them. They weren't just a couple. They were the definition of black love. Teyana's strength and Iman's charm felt magnetic. Together, they were powerful, playful, and passionate. They weren't afraid to show their affection, to laugh together, to build their family in front of the world. And fans adored that. They thought this was real love, the kind that could survive anything. But what the world didn't see were the quiet nights filled with arguments, the moments of doubt, and the tears Teyana cried when no one was watching. It's hard to believe that the woman who always looked so confident, so in control, was fighting battles behind the scenes. Teyana Taylor, the same woman who dominated the stage, directed music videos, balanced motherhood and business, was slowly breaking inside. And now, she's finally telling the world what really happened. When Teyana first met Iman, it was like a fairy tale. He made her laugh, made her feel safe, made her believe that real love was possible even in an industry built on fake smiles. They supported each other's dreams. They were best friends, lovers, and partners all in one. And when they got married, everyone thought, this is it. This is the couple that's going to make it. Their chemistry was undeniable. You could see it in their interviews, in their reality show, even in the way they looked at each other on red carpets. They made love look easy, too easy. But behind that camera-ready perfection was a story of sacrifice, miscommunication, and eventually, betrayal. It started small. A few rumors here and there about Iman being seen with other women. At first, no one took it seriously. Celebrities deal with rumors all the time, right? But as time went on, those whispers grew louder. Screenshots started to appear online, DMs were leaked, and people began connecting dots that Teyana tried so hard to ignore. She didn't want to believe it. How could she? This was the man she built her world around. They had children together. They shared dreams, a home, a life. Every time someone accused him of cheating, she stood up for him. She'd say, "Don't believe everything you see online." She wanted to protect her family, even if it meant ignoring the cracks forming right in front of her. But love can only blind you for so long. Eventually, the signs became too clear to dismiss. The late-night arguments, the sudden distance, the coldness in his eyes. They all told a story that Teyana didn't want to face. Then one night, everything changed. A video surfaced online showing Iman with another woman at a club. Close, intimate, laughing like they had no care in the world. Within hours, social media exploded. Fans were tagging Teyana, asking questions, demanding answers. But she said nothing. Not a word. She kept quiet, even as her name trended for days. People thought her silence meant she didn't care, but they were wrong. She cared too much. She was just too heartbroken to speak. She was trying to process the fact that the man she defended, the man she loved, had humiliated her in front of the world. For weeks, she stayed low. No interviews, no social media posts, nothing. And then one morning, she finally spoke. Not with anger, not with rage, but with raw, honest pain. In a quiet voice that trembled just slightly, she said, "I've been silent because I wanted to protect my peace." But silence started to feel like punishment. Those words hit everyone. You could feel the heartbreak behind them, the exhaustion of a woman who gave her all to someone who didn't value it. She said she wasn't perfect, but she tried. She fought for her marriage even when people told her to walk away. But there's only so much one heart can take. She admitted that she found out things she wished she hadn't, things that shattered her trust. "When you love someone," she said, "you want to believe they'll never hurt you, but sometimes love makes you blind to who they really are." And just like that, the truth was out. Fans were heartbroken for her. Some cried in the comments. Others were angry. Not just because of what Iman did, but because Teyana had carried that pain for so long, pretending to be okay. She had become the symbol of strength, of resilience. But deep down, she was a woman who had been betrayed by the person she trusted most. People who knew them personally said Teyana tried everything to save her marriage. She prayed, she went to therapy, she forgave over and over. But each time she forgave, another lie came out. It was like trying to fix a glass that kept shattering in her hands. And the hardest part? Watching her daughters ask questions she couldn't answer. That's what finally broke her. "I didn't want my girls to think that love means pain," she said softly. "I had to choose myself so they could learn to choose themselves too." That line, it stuck with everyone. Because it wasn't just about heartbreak anymore. It was about healing, about breaking a cycle. Meanwhile, Iman was out there trying to save face, posting cryptic messages like nobody's perfect and real love always comes back. But people weren't having it. They called him out, saying he lost the best thing that ever happened to him. Some said it was karma. Others said he took her for granted because he thought she'd never leave. For a while, Teyana stayed quiet again. She was healing, rebuilding herself piece by piece. She focused on her kids, her career, and her peace. And little by little, she started to glow again. That same woman who once cried in silence began to smile again. Not the forced smile she used to wear for the cameras, but a real one. Her friends said she went through a lot of sleepless nights, crying, writing, praying. But every morning she got up, wiped her tears, and faced the world. Because that's what strong women do. They break, they fall, but they never stay down. When she returned to social media months later, fans immediately noticed the difference. Her posts were full of light again. She looked free, like she had finally let go of the weight she'd been carrying for years. And that's when she said something that left fans in tears. Sometimes the person you love the most teaches you the hardest lesson. That love without respect isn't love at all. That moment changed everything. People stopped seeing her as a victim and started seeing her as a survivor. But what makes Teyana's story even more emotional is that she never dragged Iman publicly. She didn't bash him, didn't expose him, didn't humiliate him the way he humiliated her. Instead, she chose grace. Because she knew that peace doesn't come from revenge. It comes from letting go. Still, the pain left scars. Even now, when she talks about love, you can feel a bit of hesitation in her tone. She's careful, guarded. Because when you've been betrayed like that, it changes how you love forever. Behind closed doors, people close to Iman say he's filled with regret. He misses his family, the home they built, the warmth that's now gone. But sometimes realizing what you lost comes too late. Teyana, on the other hand, has transformed that pain into power. Her music has become more personal, her art deeper. Every lyric, every performance carries the weight of her journey, from love to heartbreak to freedom. And the world has taken notice. She's not just known as Iman's ex anymore. She's known as a woman who stood up after being knocked down and smiled while doing it. In one interview, she was asked if she'd ever take Iman back. She paused for a moment and said, "I'll always love him for giving me my beautiful kids. But sometimes love isn't enough to stay. Sometimes love is just the lesson that prepares you for peace." Those words broke the internet. Fans flooded her page with messages calling her an icon of strength. Because in a world where drama sells, Teyana chose dignity. Today, Teyana Taylor is glowing brighter than ever. Working, traveling, laughing, and showing the world that healing isn't about forgetting. It's about forgiving yourself for staying too long and walking away with grace. Meanwhile, Iman has been posting subtle signs of regret. Old memories, emotional captions, and quiet reflections on what he lost. But one thing's clear. That chapter is over. Teyana isn't looking back. She's focused on peace, purpose, and self-love. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's growth, it's success, it's genuine happiness. And right now, Teyana Taylor has found all three and is living beautifully in her power. Teyana Taylor's journey is a powerful reminder that no matter how perfect something appears online, no one truly knows what happens behind the scenes. Even the strongest women can fall apart. But it's how they rise again that defines their strength. Her silence once left people confused, wondering why she stayed quiet while the world speculated. But now it's clear, her silence wasn't weakness. It was self-protection. She was gathering her peace, saving her truth until the moment she was ready to share it. And when she finally spoke, it wasn't out of bitterness or anger. It came from a place of freedom, growth, and undeniable strength. And that's what makes this story so powerful. Not just a scandal, not just heartbreak, but rebirth. A woman learning that sometimes the love you give away has to come back to you first. So when Teyana said, "I was heartbroken," it wasn't just a confession. It was closure. The end of one story, and the beginning of another. Because in the end, she didn't just lose Iman, she found herself,